Interesting thing too, there's no real way for them to prepare for this. They've never done something like this. As Caitlin Clark gets her first bucket in the 50,000 plus.
Another year, but Caitlin Clark, it's just effortless for her. Just smooches it off the window.
Back her lane, and Caitlin Clark pushing it.
And Clark played underneath that screen.
Man, Clark's feed to O'Grady is beautiful. She spent years.
Yeah, the law firm owned by Clark, but now a couple of new partners to connect with. A great dime right there in transition to O'Grady. Just a perfectly...
Hands, you have to make sure it's going to be a little harder to catch the ball because your hands are cold, but players are adapting. The benches are actually heated. It's just see Clark get the layup to go. It's just going to be about staying as warm as you can as long as possible.
Clap my hands together on the catch. You can't really get a good grip on the basketball, and that's what you want as a shooter.
Again, Caitlin Clark, a marvelous passer, finding Sharon Goodman for two.
Well, Caitlin Clark has picked up right where she left off last year. She led the country in assists last year, but this time it's a reversal. It's Goodman to Clark, who takes the nice dive down for the finish inside, and the bench loves the...
Just a delightful girl. Her favorite sport is swimming. She's on the swim team. She's so excited to be here, and she's most excited that she gets to wave from down here up towards the kids, and you will see that in 3 minutes and 3 seconds as Caitlin Clark drives and draws a whistle. Four freshmen. We mentioned the two very important players, starters in Warnock and Sinano that are gone, but the core of this team is back, headlined by Clark, who gets 2 more.
On the Big Ten Network.
It's all over the place.
See the board work.
That's Stuelke running the floor. To the bigs as often as possible.
But just look at her eyes, the way that she surveys. She's just a puppeteer when it comes to what she wants the defense to do. And the ease in which she can score the basketball is phenomenal. But right here, the connection of the dots with Hannah Stuelke running. High ball screen and late clock action. You see Stuelke trying to wait and get an eye from Clark to see when to set it.
Clark on the drive. 9 points for the superstar. And Iowa has a 6-point. There's an emphasis to get O'Grady the ball, and it works. Great feed from Clark.
O'Grady's been able to do extremely well is play together and play the angles. And look at Clark right.
Clark using O'Grady to drive. She's got 13.
I mean, she just a
Hall of Famer for a reason, Megan. Caitlin Clark unloads from the end zone.
Well, Caitlin Clark has put on her cape here in Iowa City, knocking down her patented pull-up triple in transition. At least 3 feet behind the line, no problem. And then the little shrug afterwards for emphasis to let you know, I do this often.
140 made threes for her last year, led the country. I thought what was amazing watching their run.
How many points does Caitlin Clark has? How many has she produced for the team? And I think those numbers are so incredible as well.
She produces to Sharon Goodman, the red shirt. Iowa trying to push, up by 10. Clark with a difficult layup, and one.
Mama, there she goes again. Caitlin Clark getting downhill in transition, connected with the body, and getting the bucket to go. Just a phenomenal finish by the senior. She just gets her head down. She's been in the weight room. She just drives herself right there to the cup today. But I think because of all the new players, you want to get acclimated with how you shift and move.
Caitlin Clark, knock it off.
I thought I'd seen it all from Caitlin Clark, but I'm wrong. Look at this one. I think that's that you have to contend with.
Caitlin Clark, the 3-ball. The unicorn strikes again.
The sun came out, and I said, hey, you know, the sun's out. It might get in the way and be a distraction. Not for Caitlin Clark coming off. A little dribble handoff, and the catch and shoot ability off a DHO right there is pretty excellent by Caitlin Clark, the senior.
Clark curling around the lane and rocking it in, going to the line. Shooter, she's very comfortable driving.
No, 3-pointers from the outside, 3-pointers from the inside. What? Phenomenal. Megan Gustafson, obviously player of the year. She was the Honda player of the year as well.
Clark with another three. Her third of the day. Has stretched the lead to 22. Caitlin Clark with the sun shining down upon her. She's sitting with 32 points, and oh yeah, the all-time leading scorer for now. 7 rebounds and 10 assists. The first triple-double in Kinnick Stadium history.
She has her cape on. Oh my goodness. Caitlin Clark.
Court duo. Clark now has it. Already getting to the paint pretty quickly. Puts one up and in. Clark pushing the pace. You know Iowa loves to play fast. Gets into the paint, the lefty lay, and it's in. Iowa, 7 points quickly in this one. Resetting here, looking to get it to Stolke down low, and she does. Stolke's gonna kick it out to Clark from deep. Knocks it down. Caitlin Clark with her first triple of the season. Molly Davis is checked in for Iowa. Checks in for Goodman. Deep three from Clark, and one! She just makes it look easy out there. Layup from Toomey goes 21-9. Iowa already running fast. O'Grady gets it and scores it. Clark has 16 early in this one. Getting those defensive rebounds is crucial for their offensive success. Savalos, nice bounce pass, but it's stolen away. Martin now throwing it up the court to O'Grady. Gets another bucket to go. O'Grady's running the floor incredibly. As that is a rebound there by Molly Davis. And, you know, we're already seeing that. Goodman and her as Clark shoots it and makes another one. Splashes that one.
See what they can apply for this next half. I'm really excited to see what FDU can apply. But, you know, it's still game time. Obviously, it's 62-27. Adding it on right there.
And Stephanie Gately, we've mentioned it earlier. Another three from Parkey. Almost gets that one to fall. That did everything but go through.
That would have been good if that one came in. There's Stolke right there, putting it right back up once again.
Bucket there from the Knights. Stolke has a little bit of positioning down low. Clark, though, the open three, splashes it home. Can't leave her open. Oh, drops a dime there to Stolke. Gets it to Goodman, back to Clark. Getting into the paint. Scoop pass to Goodman, and she scores again. Molly Davis gets the rebound. We've talked about. Look at the smile on her face. Clark dishes it down low. O'Grady gets her own and one.
Let's go to the line once again.
But down low now to Goodman. Gets it to Clark. Clark's going to kick it out. Stolke's going to shoot it. And splash it! Stolke from three. Clark now pushing it. Only 2 assists and 3 rebounds shy of the triple-double. Now 1 assist shy. You know, I said she might not get it. She is. She must have heard me. Yeah, definitely does. Only has 2 turnovers in this game, and those were both in the first. Well, make it 3. Clark gets the steal in the bucket. She's up to 26.
She has 9 assists, 7 rebounds, and it's possible. It's possible.
You know, Stolke gets it right there. She's at least got the double-double. Clark gets her 10th assist of the game.
Beth. Davis gets it to Clark. Drops it off for the assist. And another bucket for Stolke. Clark get through the nail to the middle of the floor and drop it down for the country in both scoring and assists. Clark hits the three. Too much space. Such a good job of using the bounce to escape. Clark wants a screen. Gets a switch and a double. And rewards the screener. That is a beautiful executed play. And the venue has been spectacular. The crowd is out. Now the two teams just looking to score a little bit. A slow start for both sides as Clark drives and scoops it up and in. Here in the first quarter. Watch this right here. I think that might have been a couple steps. Back out to Caitlin. You got to close that space. High hands. Here comes the hedge by Kitley in the roll. That is the second time ever. Clark trying to make it tough on him. That was as of right now. Their tests would be coming in league play, and there's Clark again. One-handed right down the right side. It's on Karis Baker. See, she's running right up the backside of Samiel. And that is hard to guard in transition. And then by the time you pick her up, it's too late. She's already by you. Clark coming off the screen. Steps away from Amor and knocks it down. 8 in a row for Caitlin Clark. Watch Caitlin Clark right here. She knows she's got a smaller defender on her, and Amor, once she gets her that deep, she just good and can make shots. Forget about it. Clark goes right at the basket. Count it. For one. 2 for 1. That's just really good clock management. Freshman out of West Hartford, Connecticut. Clark answers. Nothing lights up the building more than this right here. To the left, to the step back. Nearly 10 million people watching. Maybe we can break that 10 this year. Deep 3, Caitlin Clark. It's a good thing we measured the logo today, Beth. Is drawing. Yeah, 28's a good number. Look at that, we measured it today. You know, it's part of the preparation. We got out the Clarkometer. It's all part of. It's a great job by DePaul to show up and compete. Clark, behind the back, into the lane, left-handed off glass for 2 more. Off the bounce is hard to guard, but so is defensive transition. That's how important it is for her to continue to work hard to post up because she draws so much attention. Clark, got it. And Beth, the difference for Kintley the last 2 possessions is she's not catching it in the short corner. It's Stokey running the floor. What great touch on that pass. Clark, step back, good. Money time. Drop coverage. Look at that change of pace right off the backside of Goodman. Keeps the dribble alive, and then the bounce pass for her.
And it's getting from one side to the other. Now it's catch and hold.
Clark, long 2, she's got it.
If the bigs aren't down the floor in the rim run, if they're even with where she is as Caitlin Clark gets the crack.
K-State shooting 30%. Here is Clark. Yes!
Make that pass a little bit more difficult.
Gotta help it, you're big. Caitlin Clark knocking down the second 3 of the day for the Hawkeyes.
The way that we want to.
Clark into the chest of Sanchez. Count it! If Clark would find the shoot. The step back is good.
Good, but no hit from McCauley here. And Clark going one-on-one on the cross. Oh! Clark off the ball screen, knocks it down from the mid-range. A 13-3 run for Iowa continues with a Clark. Iowa can go over their total from Thursday night on this trip. And McCabe does. Times tonight, Iowa slowed it down in the half court. Clark probing off 1 foot. It's pure. Clark was thinking about the logo. And scoops it in at the horn.
And an impressive start out of the locker room for Drake.
Didn't get back on Kate Martin.
Yeah, jinxed him a little bit.
Marshall passes on the 3. Out for Clark. Money.
And opportune situations.
Strokes in another one. Caitlin's on it. And Clark looking for runners with her, and she finds Goodman streaking to the rim. Hey, Martin has come out here tonight shooting like Caitlin Clark. Oh, there's 100. It'll be around the back end for Drake. Clark wants more. She's got more.
Come on.
Here's Clark looking for her first points of the game. Down the lane, she gets the layup to go and will head to the line. You can just say Caitlin, and everyone knows who you're talking about in the world of sports. Here's the turnover. The Hawks are pushing. Nice feed from Clark and Stuckey. Martin to a cutting Clark for 2. And another whistle on the Badgers. She'll head to the line again. She injured her knee last November. was lost for the entire season, only played in 5 games and only played 3 minutes in that outing yesterday. There goes Clark inside for 2. Make her take tough shots. Don't give her any open looks. So far, they've mostly been able to do that. Although Clark finds space in a heartbeat, doesn't she? When Caitlin Clark and the Hawkeyes come to town. They switch on Clark. 3 to shoot for a falter. Clark will heave it and drop it from way downtown. And she gives the Jordan shrug to the fans. Porter at the buzzer. Since the Kansas State loss, her scoring has skyrocketed, and they've gone undefeated 6-0 since. Look at Caitlin Clark split everybody on the floor for the layup. It's been a tough day from the three-point line, only 6 made total. But when you can get passes like that from Clark, who needs the deep shot?
You want to do offensively, but yes, you're very aware of it. You have someone on the bench that's keeping track of things like that.
Caitlin Clark creates her own rhythm offensively. And here comes Clark. Picked up the dribble, finds a wide open Kylie Feuerbach for 3. Timeout, Wisconsin. McCabe, a former Nebraska Gatorade Player of the Year. Here's Clark from deep. She finds a way to have a lot of fun playing this game.
And we have a lot of fun watching her play this game.
Look at that pass. My goodness, can the Hawkeyes pass the ball? Clark from deep. Bang! Clark's got 28, but a falter pulls it down. And here comes Iowa with a 4-on-2 break. Easy peasy for Addie O'Grady. Clark with another board. Clark falls down. Ooh, she looks hurt and is slow to get up.
Caitlin Clark quickly getting a look and knocking down the first 3 she sees. This is a team coming in with a whole lot of confidence. 9 straight wins. Clark finds herself open and her second 3 tonight. Purdue sees her chance and is stopped. Clark perfectly in rhythm. She's got it. 9 points for Clark on 3 threes as Purdue attacks at the rim. Layup not there. Beautiful fast break opportunity. Did the ball even touch the floor? Purdue, a long 3 that just grazes rim. Clark in transition, yes! Cleveland State was charged up in the first half, bringing intensity here as Clark working her way in the post, nestles in and finishes.
It's a nice finish on the fadeaway.
Clark, quick trigger. Another 3 for Caitlin Clark, 21 points in her hometown. Maples cannot silence this crowd. Leaking out ahead is Martin, and found by Clark. It is all Hawkeyes here in the 3rd.
But the fact that Clark is that close to breaking this record, I'm glad someone did the math, because I was wondering how many games it would take. But I'm not a math person, so glad to see someone. The math is mathing.
Looking to add more. Cleveland State has not been able to finish inside. Clark, transition 3, yes!
You know how special for Clark, too. Her parents go to almost every single game. She's only 2 hours away in Iowa City at college. It's a real homecoming game for her, though.
3-point play.
4 different players, and all 4 have double figures. Purdue's the type of player, oh my goodness.
Clark adds another 3, that's 7, and she's over 30. Marshall going to slow it down for this Hawkeye offense that has been rolling all night long. 87 points, and Clark will add more. Another Hawkeye steal, and Clark whipping it to Martin, and 1.
Then Iowa was able to blow this game open because they created second chance opportunities and used our physicality.
There she is again, 38 for Caitlin Clark in Des Moines.
Big defensive play by a Falter. Sets up the Iowa offense. Nice pass from Clark. That's what they do. Wow.
All year long. You know, Clark's one of those players that you just have to let her, as you see her get the steal right here.
Cookies.
Moving the ball, they were able to eventually get a shot, but they have to attack the gaps.
Caitlin, it's her time. Cashes in. I'm sure they wouldn't mind that.
I know, Clark was at the Chiefs game the other day.
Interception here. Will we go for the pick six? Clark getting the ball screen. Handoff. Catches it.
That is Caitlin Clark's favorite way to shoot a three.
She's got 24. They go back to her. 5 threes on the evening. Clark has Joyner on her. She takes it to her through the contact. Extends the lead for Iowa. They've been working through A-Roll. Here's Joyner. Just relentless on the post. Blocked and rejected by Clark. Davis, time winding down. Are they going to get the ball up in time? Clark for the win. Yeah! She does it time and time again, the 40-piece, and walks off with the W.
Terrible play-by-play analysis.
Listen, it's always good to have a replay camera. That's the best part about it.
Stokey down the floor. That's too easy. That's the thing that Rutgers has to worry about. I mean, we can make the point all we want. They got to get back. Goodman put it off the glass. 4th double-double of the season. Caitlin Clark finally drills a three. She had missed her first 4, and now she's got another one. Now, Rutgers has taken as many threes here in the first 11 and a half minutes of this ball game as they did in 40 on Tuesday. Martin, nice footwork.
Her and Caitlin Clark into their two-man game, it is elite because of how well they move with each other.
Clark with numbers, finds a falter. And Iowa has its largest lead of the ball game up to 13.
And she's done a good job of keeping her balance.
Back to Clark, triggered the inbounds, and that's a wide open three. Kate Martin was playing a solid 5-6 feet off of Destiny Adams, who has only taken 3 triples all year. Clark got around, the foul on Herder, they'll count the bucket. Jam-packed here, arenas are sold out all across the Big Ten. Clark for 3, hits again.
First shot is up. Caitlin Harper just off the mark and quickly the other way. This is exactly what Caitlin Clark and the Hawkeyes do in transition.
Read the defense well, just not getting that one to fall just yet. It's interesting seeing the vision behind the glass with all the fans.
Clark high-arcing, why not? What a way to start.
Yeah, Abby Ellis now a couple times. Nice job getting into the paint to create.
Again? Yes! Of course, 2 for 2 from the outside for Clark. When you're the 3rd-ranked team in the country, everyone is going to give you their best effort. Gabby Marshall from the corner. Hauled down by Kate Martin. And here's Clark. Transition, money time.
Swinging a golf club as well. She is an insane golfer.
Make it 3 threes, Kim.
Ooh, CC.
We've seen that so far, 7-point game. We're hearing the band. Oh, the behind-the-back pass and the connection from Stokey.
I mean, are you serious? She made it look so easy. It was just completely in stride. Yeah, Stokey got up for that rebound, really coming into that explosiveness.
Clark puts it up. Just needed a second chance.
Senior from Greenfield, Tennessee with the bucket, and a foul on the other end.
With the pace of Hawkeyes offense.
Now Clark putting it on the deck, splits the defense and gets his first field goal of the night. She averages 31. Clark step back 3. Finally. 6:23 to play. Second quarter. Clark. Step back 3 again. Boom. Our remember against Michigan, Michigan tried to guard Indiana, but it was all IU. They hit their first 15 shots. Caitlin will hit that one though. 6 seconds. Here comes Clark. Got free. Up. Pure. Caitlin Clark. She's fouled her touch. And that's the end of the first half. She's got 20 in the first half. Garrett zone. Knocked away. Stolen. Martin to Clark. Wraps it around. Gabby Marshall. And she buries the jump shot. And we still have a fourth quarter to go. Stolen away by Clark. Outlet pass. Molly D. Front court. Got it up. And in.
Ashley Owusu has a powerful, packed game. So if she gets a mismatch on that block, she's going to let it go.
But there's Caitlin Clark opening the scoring for Iowa.
Just take a look right here. Molly Davis sending the pass over to Caitlin Clark, that's the basket line, and that's where Iowa has placed their defense.
Clark goes to the hole that time.
You gotta stay in a stance and slide and put your foot on that baseline and turn her back out or make her shoot a walled up shot.
Clark with a tough three. Took a deflection, going to be Iowa ball.
Right here, slide to the left, Ashley Owusu with the stick arm right there in the way. Another triple. Just coming into this game, she was 0 for 5.
And there's a big three-pointer.
First three of the season. Caitlin Clark on her favorite side of the floor pulls it right there and hugs the net. And here's Iowa again pushing pace. And this Iowa team averages 91.9 points per game.
Leads the Big Ten and leads the nation. They also lead the nation as Clark puts it off the glass and the foul.
It's Caitlin Clark right down the elbow area. Second line of defense is Owusu, but she's not established. Caitlin Clark gets the N1. Watch right here, great read, attack, and finish. Nice drop off to the weak side, and that's what you do. You apply pressure with the dribble drive, straight line drives to the rim, and put pressure on the rotation.
Clark for three!
Now take a look, here's Caitlin Clark coming off that pin down once again. Deep triple, deep water for Caitlin Clark. Nice swing pass right into the shot pocket. All she had to do was catch and fire it in, and then she's like, come on.
Owusu, back-to-back 20-point performances against Nebraska and Northwestern just over a week ago, surpassed 1,500 career points as Clark knocks one down.
Yeah, let's take a look right here. Clark between the legs, creating some space, slides you back and dropping it down.
From the top of the key.
Yeah, feathery touch right there. Second one on the evening for her.
Clark gets it off the glass, crafty finish.
At 6'3", uses that turnaround to create some space.
How do you think Nebraska will deal with Caitlin Clark today?
Well, I think they're going to give her different looks. In the opening 2 minutes of this game, she just sets this up with hard cuts. Jason splashing, getting into the paint and reverse pivoting to find a talented freshman.
Clark to the bucket, 2 and a foul.
But you have to respect her ability to drive as well. Strong to the left. Callan Hake, nice job of pushing pace in transition to find her center.
White trying to heat up Caitlin Clark, and she takes that personally. 2 more. 7 for Caitlin Clark in the first quarter.
Nebraska has really started to get some second chance points now, up to 7. Iowa has to locate and box out.
Caitlin Clark drills the 3 out of nowhere sometimes.
Caitlin Clark needs 39 for the record. This would give her...
You could see the pride and confidence growing in that press conference after the Penn State game. Caitlin Clark up for 2. That is 12 for Clark so far today. Kate Martin barreling down the lane. She's walled off, so Caitlin Clark triggers. And a bullseye! Oh, now we're really revving the engine here. Shelley versus Clark, double team.
Hey.
Who cares?
As Allison reported, Iowa has really been crashing the offensive glass tonight as well this afternoon.
Clark fade away. 3 and the foul! Just absolutely nasty from Caitlin Clark.
Greatness on full display here. She loves that step back. I think she prefers the offensive side a little bit more, but defense is coming.
You don't say. 2 and a foul for Caitlin Clark. She's 16 away from the record.
Equally as strong on the attack, off the dribble, getting to the rim as she is from behind the arc. Just surgical right now, weaving through 3 defense. That is back-to-back threes for the center, setting the screen. Both players go with the ball handler, pop out and knock down.
Coley trying so hard to deny Caitlin Clark, and she won't be denied.
In recent minutes, and then Caitlin Clark's range knows no limits.
Anna Stolke posting up, but you know who they go to. 22 from the outside. Oh, this is going to happen quick. Recovered by Gabby Marshall. Here comes Clark. How will she go for history? There it is! The all-time leading scorer in women's college basketball. This crowd, wow, in only ways that Caitlin can.
Caitlin Clark now has 3,528 points in her career. She has officially broken Kelsey Plum's record from 2017. A post-game celebration will occur immediately following the game. Let's hear it one more time for number 22, Caitlin Clark.
Whew. We got to get another look at. She said she wanted to get it from the logo. Caitlin Clark on a mission.
The most Caitlin Clark way to get a bucket. I mean, we are talking well inside the middle of the MediaCom logo. You have a hand down when she crosses half court. Caitlin Clark has been making people pay since her freshman year in Iowa City. This shot is an elite shot, a layup for Caitlin Clark. Nobody else in the country that's an elite shot for. There are different rules for Caitlin Clark.
Her family's reaction, Megan. Her mom, Ann, said she might even cry. Wow, her 2 brothers there.
They have been there every 2 high school teammates going against each other right there.
Gabby Marshall, Layla Philia. Stolke converts. A little volley with the basketball. Clark trying to go for more. Yes! That's an and one opportunity. Caitlin Clark loves these situations. She times them out, sets her feet, catch.
Cameron Williams is coming off a massive game for Michigan. She was 23 points, 3 rebounds.
Again! Stop it! She averages 32 points per game. I'm not great at math, but I use a calculator sometimes. That's 4.5 games. Keep it coming.
Michigan's gotten the ball inside every single possession almost. They've had it.
Iowa playing zone about 15% of the time. It leads to a fast break. She's at 23.
She was contested, but nonetheless was able to get it off.
Clark serving. She looked at the basket. How'd she get it down to Stolke?
Somehow finding her balance.
It's up. It's good. The ability for a 22-year-old to put all of this into perspective and shout out her teammates as she goes for a 30-piece.
But it's made a world of difference. And talking to different Big Ten coaches, they have all said Iowa has improved drastically defensively.
8 threes for Caitlin Clark. Calling for a horn set. Bobbles it, taken away by Iowa. Caitlin Clark asking for the basketball. Slices it down with the bounce pass before the buzzer. Caitlin Clark now has 40. Somehow got it to Kate Martin, who finishes. Clark has Woodson on her. Little step back, then goes right back to the cup. Oh! Talking about hot sauce, that's spicy.
This is an NCAA tournament team. They already have a resume-boosting signature win against Ohio State earlier this season.
A new career high. A new Iowa women's basketball record. So a couple free throws for the Hoosiers. Caitlin Clark the other way. Tie ball game with the Hoosiers program. Clark, her first step back of the evening is good.
It's a really good Swiss Army knife for Lisa Bluter.
Clark already has 7, make it 9. Tough one off the glass.
Gotta be aggressive.
They're going back to Stolke, working through a nice cut by Clark.
Oh, man. This is famous for.
Deep one for Clark. Silence.
I don't know if you want to make her mad.
Patient offensively, Iowa on this possession. Clark off the screen, yes. Clark quickly.
So fast. Where?
They go to Clark. She goes quickly.
Man, that floater off of the glass is perfected.
Shauna Green said that's #1, slowing the ball and then finding the shooters, especially Caitlin Clark.
Cook trying to stand her ground, gets a hand in the face. It did not matter against Clark on that fadeaway.
Bluter looking for more offense from players like Molly Davis. They get just finding a gap and a straight line drive right to the rim. Strong guard.
Clark sets her feet. Yes.
Iowa heating up early. Caitlin Clark can't give her much space.
Falter working it around the perimeter, back in the hands of Clark. It's been Mackenzie getting the lion's share of the assignment today. Here to protect our booth as we look at this last Clark play.
Carver Hawkeye wanted to travel there. A little bit of a hop step.
Clark back to back, igniting this crowd once more.
More threes than anybody in the country. She loves to go left, and then flexibility. You have to be young to be able to take that hit and get right back up.
Caitlin Clark rattles in of 3. She's got 18
offensive laps. She's the leading scorer of all time, and there's nobody paying attention to her.
Clark sizing up her defender, and Dolan gets some space. That is too tough to stop.
Caitlin Clark has to work hard to get her own shot. I don't think that was a push off at all. There wasn't much contact, but the intention to sell that cut, and then that is just perfect.
In 2 on Clark. A long 2, and that's her first bucket. Glue of the team, the mother hen as they've called her. Caitlin Clark hits a 3-pointer, and Clark makes history once again. She's now 1 for 12 on the day from deep.
That's where she likes to go, that right to left signature shot. That one dribble allows her to put it into her shooting pocket, and she's...
Chesky tried to pass to Marisa, got batted around, and the Hawkeyes have it. Look at Clark creating offense.
Of speed. Caitlin Clark does this with ease, calms down, gets low to the ground, then just a little hesitation up, still is able to explode towards the rim, finishes through contact. She's balanced, shoulder square to the basket.
Falter keeps it alive. Clark again.
Layla Filia leaves that just short of Falter stepping in.
Clark, the hesitation, gets all the way to the cup.
Bringing some of that momentum and finding the adrenaline when you're having to play 3 days in a row.
Poked away by Brett. Getting the assignment on Clark. Deep three. Rattles through.
Option, or whether that be, oh, I don't know, another logo shot. The signature from number 22. Like, hang out, watch a movie, you know.
Clark read it all the way. Today's Playing with the Plan brought to you by TIAA.
Everybody always forgets about the inbounder. Caitlin Clark, forgotten about on this possession. Wide open opportunity and credit.
Iowa with it again. Clark sprinting. Clark finishing.
That looks pretty when it left her hand.
Clark turning on the Jets and turning the corner for two. Clark gonna reset with Felia. And Clark just gallops right to the cup.
She's got that ability to re-square her shoulders to the basket and keep it as her momentum's falling backwards.
Clark, logo, yes!
And nothing better than a good old-fashioned logo shot. There aren't very many logos on this floor, Sloan. Only the one in the middle, and she still found a way to get her foot right there at the bottom of it. Boom, baby.
Autumn Johnson standing by on the sideline.
Huge win over Ohio State already this season, but it's hard when things don't go the way you want them to in this game.
Caitlin Clark starting off the fourth quarter with a bucket in the paint.
Iowa is so balanced when it comes to who can score and where they can score.
And Caitlin Clark can score anytime from there. A berth in the championship game. They've been in 4 of the last 5. They've won 3 of the last 5. They are hungry for a three-peat here at Carver North. But they're taken away by Lauren Hansen. Wolverines get it taken away again, and Clark lays it in.
Yesterday when she sat down with us, I knew coming to Nebraska that for me to get minutes, I'd have to rebound.
There's Caitlin Clark's first points. Took her 7 shots to do it. Clark's got 6 assists. Will penetrate that time. Her second field goal to attempt shooting. What can Caitlin Clark do here to open up the third quarter? 2 for 13 from the field. She steps it back from about 15 out.
See, that's what Iowa does when they do it well. They defend and that leads to offense.
Clark steps it back. 3-pointer number 1. A little bit out of rhythm here today to give and go. Clark gives Iowa its first lead since the first quarter. They've climbed all the way back by trailing by 13. The third meeting between Iowa and Nebraska. Each team winning on its home court in the regular season. Clark off balance, nothing but net. Husker history.
We see here Caitlin Clark off the out-of-bounds play with the... And obviously far below their average here, and that's what Coach Williams said she wanted to do.
Clark, right side, she's found success with that right dribble drive here today. The quarterfinals, number 1 seed, Ohio State lost. Michigan State, the number 4 seed, lost in the quarters. These are the 2 teams who have survived, the 2 and the 5. Clark from straight away.
Caitlin Clark so good with her dribble, keeping it alive, creating the space by getting low to the ground. She's got a little more room to see the rim. See how she just uses the dribble, just a simple crossover.
He gets it right back. Inside 5 minutes left to play for a championship. Clark leaves it short, gives it right back. And Stokey, how'd she find it? That was a great pass.
And they need to play with a sense of urgency here. And they need a bucket.
So they go Clark's way. She can deliver. Time and time again. Oh, you said they needed a bucket, so guess what? They went 22's way.
I mean, I think she's listening to me, Lisa. What do you think? I think this is just what she does. She hits shots at the most crucial moments.
Iowa trailing by 2. Clark crosses it over against Shelley. Shoulder shake. Clark all the way left side. We're tied up at 77.
Just settling. She's hit some shots from outside, but boy, she is so adept at getting into the teeth of the defense. This is just one-on-one basketball all the way, and she is so deceptively strong. Her body control, when you see the way that she handles herself, what a big shot getting to the rim.
Clark looking for it, steps it back. It's a three on the way. It's another three for Caitlin Clark.
Have a Caitlin Clark on your squad. What a response. This step back three, a fader, knocks it down like it's a layup.
The flow of the game. This is the speed that you see both teams play in the regular season.
Clark on the drive and the foul. Iowa has come back to tie it up. Well, Davis, you may think that may be a little bit of a deep three. She can go deeper than that. And Caitlin Clark can go deeper than that. She knocks down a long triple. She's got 8. Clark steps in for a 3.
And grow, and college is the time where you really make those adjustments, but they've had to figure out how to play through adversity.
Clark buries another one. Logan Cook on for Iowa. She gets the rebound, and here is Clark. Defended by Martinez. Off the window, 2 more for Caitlin Clark. Clark gets the roll.
And Clark knows when it's time to step up. She didn't have to score in the third quarter. When you have other players stepping up, her presence on the court is enough to score, and she must have heard us talking about it and tipped it right in.
That's how prolific a scorer she has been. There are 2 20-point scorers on the CMU team, so they can go on a run. Clark, strong drive for 2 more.
Hey, knockdown shot.
Kentucky settles for an outside shot for Wyatt. Here's Clark in transition. Use the dribble to get free. Got enough space against Patterson to knock down a 3, and a great start for Iowa and an early timeout for Kentucky.
Well, you gotta love the challenge that Coach Elsie put on Ryan Howard. She didn't want her to just be known as a scorer. She wanted her to be a better defender. I like the way Blair Green has come in and has been aggressive.
Clark, everything's falling for the freshman.
One of the plans is to try to keep fresh bodies on the floor. We saw what happens when Caitlin Clark comes off the floor. We saw that in the Central Michigan game. So trying to make sure, and she's going to stay red hot.
Here today, Massengill gets her first points in the follow, but look at Iowa right away. Up ahead to Clark, tracked it down and put it in. Batted out by McKinney, but picked up by Clark. Pull-up 3. Of course, Caitlin Clark's got it going here in round 2.
Looking down low, Tanano working down low.
Clark defended by Benton. Clark launches again. Clark drains another one. Back out top to Clark, defended by the freshman Hunt. Clark, a couple of good fakes to get free, and drains another 3-pointer.
Kentucky set up a play to try to get an easy look for Ryan Howard, even though the ball did not drop. That's the look that you want. But Caitlin Clark continue.
The biggest comeback in school history.
Oh, that's got to drop, but their defense. And
you know that will drop. And you know that will drop.
Caitlin Clark. Now is the time that you can slow it down a little bit and get the shot attempt that you want. Sonano's basket that she made before, it was set up by the pace and the way that they play.
Beautiful adjustment by Clark, the drive to the basket.
And for us to have the NCAA tournament, for the women to be able to play, and Kyra Elsie gave big props to just the committee that allowed the opportunity for the tournament. Caitlin Clark with the answer to allow herself opportunities to get open. And then the thing that I love the most when I watch her is how hard she plays as she knocks down yet another shot, sitting at 35 points now.
Players leak out because they're often rewarded like Williams was on the last possession.
A 10-2 UConn run. Clark trying to force the action, banks it in. Make that the 6th for Nelson Adota. Oh, nice find. Sonano to Clark for 2.
Yeah, Iowa in their 1-1-3 zone there. You know they like to trap the baseline.
Clark all the way in, lays it home as she tumbles to the hardwood.
Only appropriate then that she plays for Gino Auriemma, who also has his own truck.
Clark, a deep one. Oh! Gets that to drop. Second three of the game for Caitlin Clark.
That if there was open gym at 6:30, it was an hour and a half away, so Jan would be on the road at 5 a.m. recruiting her. Their whole staff as she flashes another three.
Clark has it deflected. Martin back to Clark. Her three is good. Caitlin Clark buries a three to end the third. Clark the spin, and that is the first bucket of the fourth quarter for the nation's leading scorer.
From their Sweet 16 run a year ago when they got knocked out by UConn. Here is Clark, and her first shot is good. Tommy Taiwo, the senior from Carmel, Indiana, checks in. Here is Sonano, two defenders on her. Clark gets a look, and hits. No one in the last 20 years, men or women, has been the leading scorer in the country as a freshman and a sophomore, and that's what Clark is doing right now. Her first quarter, excuse me. She puts it in. There's another steal. She's got a couple of them as well. Looking to get to the bucket, lays it up and in. Warnock. And a steal by Clark. Good anticipation. Leads to the line.
Well, I really don't think Illinois State wins this past Sunday over UNI without the offensive performance of Mary Wong.
Clark, count it.
Now here in the second half against Illinois State.
Outlet to Clark, weaving, looking, sneaking through a couple of defenders for the win. The inbound goes right to Marshall, running with Clark, and Caitlin will get the finish, assisted by Gabby. Florida Gulf Coast got a big upset win. Here comes Clark. She'll pull up, transition three, and then outlet. 27 for Clark, 10 assists, 6 rebounds. And an opportunity again inside. That's Batchelor with the bucket. Clark. Taiwo, terrific off the bench, 13 points in his first round win. Clark with a third different defender on her, knocks it down for 2. Consecutive shutout dating back to their regular season finale when they beat Michigan for a share of the regular season title. Clark coming off the screen for 3. Rebounded by Taiwo. Here comes Caitlin Clark. Step back, 3. Got it.
Had that t-shirt made up last year, and they sent me one. I was like, oh wow, that's awesome.
Caitlin Clark, her first shot of 3. Better in league play, which is hard to fathom, but she shot 47% from downtown over the last 2 games. And here she is again, back-to-back threes. Here is Clark, no points in the quarter. Changes that with a step back rattling down. Less than a minute to play in the first half. Parrish back on the floor with 2 fouls. Up ahead to Clark. Wiggles past Berger. And the reverse off the window is good. 10 of them decided by 7 points or less. This has traditionally been a very tightly contested matchup. How about that shot?
Goodness.
Stepping away from the right hand and knocking it down.
That's what they need her to do. That's why she needs to stay on the floor and stay disciplined defensively.
Right back the other way, Caitlin Clark on skates.
How about Grace Berger? She is just bringing her A game to the floor tonight.
Caitlin Clark, are you kidding me?
See?
Falling to the floor and one opportunity. Up to 14.
And there's Mackenzie Holmes coming alive for the Hoosiers. I can't even finish my sentence.
Tipped away by Clark into the front court. And Clark stops the 7-0 Indiana run.
Boy, this crowd was up. This record crowd of over 13,000.
Clark hesitates and drops it in. And one opportunity.
Almost a double-double with those 9 rebounds, but she has really put IU on her back in this second half.
responds, putting the team on her back. 87-76. Clark. Desperation time for Iowa.
Searches for what would be one of the signature wins for their NCAA tournament resume. Caitlin Clark wastes no time hitting her first shot, and Iowa strikes first.
And the outstanding play in the Big Ten.
Caitlin Clark, another one from deep, her second three so far today.
There's a ball screen there.
Almost a 3-minute scoring drought for the Hawkeyes. And that comes to a close with Clark, a 5-footer.
Markowski was saying they're pulling my arm down on that shot.
Clark off the glass and good. She'll head to the line with a 3-point play.
She took the bump right there defensively. Got McKenna Warnock in the air.
Clark at the logo. Book it! Another logo shot for number 22. Clark, a deep three. She's feeling it. 20 points for Caitlin Clark.
She fought for that board, though. That's what they need. They need that fight for possessions.
Caitlin Clark now has 26. Another one. Marshall has it. Clark's trying to call a timeout. Instead, she steals it for an easy 2.
An exciting game, to say the least.
Caitlin Clark sitting on 28 points. Jazz Shelley.
Ellie Gazzardo, the head coach. Her team rallied twice in the Southland Conference Tournament for wins, and that one dead on. Right on the money. Inside, Nano can't get it to go. Clark with a little fall away, got it.
Oh boy. The fader! And what will the team do without said player? And for me, you take Caitlin Clark off the floor. I mean, that just creates so many issues for Iowa.
Tough shot there, got it to go past Cunningham.
I don't care if you're the first, second, or third line of defense, that's a problem for you. She applies so much pressure with what she does with the ball.
Clark with a triple, yes.
Graduate, I was a thank you, Lordy. Graduate.
Clark on the spin inside and banks it in and draws a foul too. Foul on Cunningham.
In the fall and non-conference portion of the season.
Clark again beating everyone to the opposite end for 2. Gives herself a great start with 17.
And Caitlin Clark is on triple-double watch, and we're not even to halftime yet.
Lane opens up, and she'll lay it in. Where you just can't sleep for a second.
For Caitlin Clark, they are tracking her. Every move that she makes.
Clark will loft it up there and swish it in with a 3. Such a quick release.
To compete at your highest level and be a star in your role.
Inside, Clark will add to the total. Open look here for Chapman, and it's around and up. And Sonata with the rebound. She falls in about 7 a game. Look at Clark. Yes! She gets to that logo.
Absolutely, and it's because of her attitude, not her statistics. She has the guts to pull a shot like that in the clutch.
Clark straight on and nothing but net for the All-American. Clark on the move, leaning in. Yes, and a foul. She scored a little bit, but she also had a lot of opportunities that did not go her way. Martin will flip back for Clark. She'll launch it. Got it.
Normally she would have tried to swat at it or get a block with those long arms. Decided better of it. Great discipline by Clark, but a strong steal and finish by Georgia once again.
Clark with an open look. Swishes in the triple. 50 seconds to go. The Player of the Year candidate Clark with it. Trying to make a move. Using the window for 2.
Second time these two programs have played. Last time was in 2017. Clark draws contact and got it. They had to shake off the jitters, I think, early in this ballgame, looking to settle in. Caitlin Clark has an answer here. Working against Weta. Serrano with the screen. Clark needs no room. Man, I don't know how Colorado's going to play the two-man game. I mean, you said it. She's been knocking it down from 3, moves without the basketball. Clark. Clark, you saw the head fake. No one would be surprised if she put one up from there, but instead she drives.
But the other thing I like that Jalen Sherrod talked to us about was just this team and the grit and the pride and the toughness as Caitlin Clark knocks down a three.
There are a lot of Iowa fans here in Seattle, and Caitlin with the steal and the stick. Colorado needs a timeout.
And now the first three of the second half for Colorado. Started the game 6 of 13. One of their last 7, and that was a big one.
Clark, can she answer? Of course. Tell him to come over to have court, but not calling the timeout. Caitlin Clark goes coast to coast.
She reminded them that they've got 3 timeouts left to use one if it helped avoid a turnover, but the biggest message was boxing out. Clark with the basket there. They have been getting killed on the boards.
What we're going to see tomorrow night from Ohio State. But Louisville, a terrific defensive team as Clark finally shakes free. Here's Van Lith, has it stolen by Clark. Clark trying to outrace Cochran, able to pizza pie it home. Clark looking to shake free. Clark, step back 3 is good. Here's Clark, guarded by Robinson. Clark firing again. Oh my! Caitlin Clark, a showstopper. Possession arrow belongs to Iowa, so it's going to stay here. Here's Clark, open in the corner. She got it. Clark will fire and hit. Another rebound, Warnock, who's having a huge game.
That's not the shot.
Clark connects on a 3. Timeout, Louisville. Of the junior's career. Here's Clark wide open. You bet. 31 for the Maestro. Knocked away, Marshall, Clark to the rim.
With getting some of those turnovers Lisa Bluter was talking about.
Narika Kono into the game for Louisville. Clark decides to take, why not?
And Jones just threw her hand up in the air like, what more can I do? And both of these teams very willing and capable of pushing in transition and scoring quickly.
Here's Clark working around Fletcher. Caitlin Clark has Iowa on the board first. That foul was on Sexton. South Carolina, a very deep team. Clark looking to turn the corner, lays it in through the contact for Caitlin Clark. Zaya Cook off to a terrific start here in the semifinals. Clark will fire and hit from 3.
And because of their bigs' ability to switch on the perimeter defensively, Dawn Staley can go with this giant lineup inside.
Clark turns the corner and lays it in. 9 points for Caitlin Clark. And unlike Boston, Clark is going to remain on the floor. Clark fading and hitting. Sydney a falter, gets it into the arms of Clark. Clark gets it across the timeline. A deep 3 is good. Outstanding crew, including Carolyn Peck, honored at halftime, headed to the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame. So will she someday. Caitlin Clark buries the 3. Clark has 2 fouls herself as Marshall comes back for the steal. Here is Clark. Clark spinning into the paint, gets to the cup, and reverses it in. Boston spins, flips, can't finish, rebound into the arms of Marshall. Here is Clark. Clark goes around Fletcher, the leaner is good.
The overpowering size and strength of South Carolina at every position.
Clark has the mismatch. Oh, Caitlin Clark. Now you see her, now you don't.
A great give and go between your bigs. 6'7" Cardoso easily passing it over to 6'5" Boston.
Clark gets a clean look and knocks it down.
Here's Clark. A deep one. You bet! Caitlin Clark! Clark burning by Beal. Caitlin Clark lays it in. Clark curling around. Clark trying to work around Beal. She does. Caitlin Clark has 35.
Mulkey told them before that fourth, as Sonato comes up with a steal, she said, act like there's only 2 minutes left. Didn't want them to think there was 10. Clark, oh my! Welcome to the national championship game.
The moment doesn't get bigger, and this woman continues to meet the moment. That was a big problem for them in the first couple of minutes.
Here's Clark getting some space and knocks it down. Sonato gets it back to Clark with space. She got it. Third three of the quarter for Caitlin Clark. Here's Clark pedaling through. Sonato trying to get it back to her. Clark again. She's almost fictional at this point.
Not only have they shot it well from the floor, they have shot it well from the free throw line, 10 of 11. That is not characteristic of them.
Clark knocks down a three. Clark behind the back, separates and hits.
Morris is so dangerous with the pull-up jumper. You have to help out on her, and she read it beautifully with that pass.
Clark playing with 3 fouls. Clark separates and knocks down another. A title game record 7-3 for Caitlin Clark. Clark separates and knocks down a three.
She heard you, Rod.
Checks the shot clock. Foreman staying right with her. Off the spin, the help comes and one. So there's plenty of help for Caitlin here in the first half.
And that's what it's going to take. And for Caitlin Clark to continue to trust them, to trust that the game is going to open up for her. And there she breathes a sigh of relief, getting production from all 5 players on the floor.
Number 1 in the country in scoring, number 1 in assists, number 2 in field goal percentage, number 1 in most threes made. And there's another one for Caitlin Clark.
The Crusaders have found a little bit of rhythm on the offensive end. They're not going to give up. They're going to continue to chip away, but you got to stay in the space and not let 22 get herself going.
Trying to set up inside. Foreman looks for 3. Clark off the crossover, goes to the left side and lays it up and in. Crowd trying to pick up the energy. Clark gets the steal. And Caitlin with the lay-in. Another steal for Clark. Unopposed for the layup.
It's been the perfect storm in a sense of the growth of the game, the way the game is played, how entertaining it is, social media. These athletes allowing themselves to be seen. No, and it's exactly what Iowa wants. They're playing this 2-3 zone, going to try to force contested shots from the three-point line, and there is Caitlin Clark knocking down a big one. It's able to corral that loose ball.
Clark steps behind the screen and hits.
Well, that's we saw it in warm-up. She wasn't missing a lot.
That'll reference the popcorn here and
Got to, yes.
Clark. So step to the side over Hemingway, and that's her third already. Davis hurt late in the season. They hope that she might be able to return if they win here tonight and play next weekend. Marshall bothered that pass. Clark will take it herself. They will be in the other Regional 1 in Albany.
And if you're the Mountaineers, you don't want to get caught falling for the trap of continuing to shoot 3.
It looked like she was expecting the inbounds pass.
Well, she still seems a little bit out of sorts.
She only played 10 minutes in the opening round due to illness as Clark hits her 4th triple of the night. Big surprise so far in the tournament, a 7 seed upsetting Ohio State. Deep three, Clark! Clark off the cross into the lane, the hang and the hit.
See immediately, Jalen Sherrod has the defensive assignment like she did a year ago on Caitlin Clark.
Clark bodies right through Sherrod in an early bucket for Caitlin Clark. Iowa had just 17 made field goals in that second round win. They already have 3 today. Clark left alone, lays it in. Here's Clark with Iowa swiftly up the floor. Clark being hawked by Weta. Clark able to finish. A number that Lisa Bluter kept bringing up to her team as they prepared for this game. Clark, she got it.
When they met Iowa last season.
At 18 points in that first half. Clark putting it in off the window. Caitlin Clark in double figures. Colorado finding a better rhythm offensively here over the last few possessions. Oh, Gabby Marshall was wide open. Clark did not see her, but will take the layup herself. A 12-point Iowa lead. You wonder, too, Rebecca, if this gets to a certain moment with a certain lead at the end of this quarter, if Clark might end up on the bench as Clark lays it in.
Just incidental contact, post play, physical post play.
Here's Clark flashing open, driving it instead, working through Sherrod for the 2. Consistently able to get to the rim on her drives. Clark now swipes it away. Here's Clark in transition, always dangerous. Clark working behind Stokey and lays it in. Clark in the corner, connects on a 3. Second 3 of the day for Clark. She has 22 points. Miller can't finish. Rebound. Martin. Clark eyes up. Here's Clark. Wheeling back, will fire, and hit. Here's Clark around the screen, driving it. Clark finishes. 27 points, 14 assists, 6 rebounds for Clark. Here's Clark. Clark lays it in. 29 for Caitlin Clark. She's 13 of 22 from the floor.
Most important things for Iowa in this game is to be able to secure defensive boards. LSU, an outstanding offensive rebounding team.
Clark connects. Given opportunities to take shots tonight, they need her to feel confident in her mid-range.
And I think Iowa is okay giving up the mid-range.
Here's Clark driving in for 2. It was Poa who drew 2 offensive fouls on Clark in last year's national championship game.
She has more size and length.
Clark, you bet. 3:30 to go in the first quarter. Clark looking to turn the corner, lays it in, plus the foul. In the backcourt, Martin gets it ahead. Iowa with numbers. Here's Clark, catch, fire, and hit. In the corner, wide open, Williams, no, and O'Grady the rebound. Clark running. Clark eyes up behind the back, through the lane, lays it in. A trip to the Final Four at stake. Clark was trying to redirect a pass. Clark, oh my, from Schenectady. Clark wheels around, evades Van Lith, and drains it. My goodness. She got an IV because she's been so sick before that UCLA game. That's how sick she was. Clark! She's possessed. Here's Martin. Clark, again coming off the screens. Clark steps back, fires. You bet! Morrow with 12 points, 12 rebounds, playing in her first Elite 8 game. Clark, again! Here's Clark. Clark pulls up, another deep one, is good! One of the things that Lisa Bluter's worked on all season is getting Clark off the ball more. Here's Clark driving and laying, and Caitlin Clark has the first points.
They're the highest scoring offense since 2014. Clark drives this one and lays it in. Smart. Clark on the drive, banks it in. Mule had to be careful there. Clark comes back to the basketball. Clark looking to spin away from traffic. Double screen, gets open, and hits. First three of the night for Caitlin Clark. Stolke trying to get it to Clark. Does. Her three is good. Plus the foul. Iowa has not had a two-possession lead yet tonight. Clark, step back three. You bet. Clark trying to work Arnold. Separates and finishes. Here's a falter. We're going to drive it again. Needs help this time. Flings it out. Clark open three. Is good. Tahina Pau, top three in the nation in three-point shooting percentage. Here's Clark. Wheeling, taking, and banking it home. She was an unstoppable force last season against Iowa, but was coming off the bench. Clark, oh my, from the future.
Lee Hall now with the defensive assignment again on Clark. Look at her hand right in Clark's face.
Clark looking to separate from Hall. Clark, the drive, able to bank it in. They have about a 6-second difference game in shot clock. Here's Clark. Will Iowa wind it down? No, that's why. 1 point Iowa lead. Clark yet to score in the second. Will put up a three here. And hit. Clark pops in. Bodies inside and finishes. Tough finish for Clark, who is looking for an and one. She has 23 points.
Would expect her to have good legs and bounce and determination here.
Tessa Johnson in as well. Here is Clark. Clark into the paint, spinning and finishing. Depth of production from her throughout the tournament, but she's had key timely baskets throughout. Clark wanted a whistle, did not get it, does get the roll.
Ability that this South Carolina team has.
Clark didn't get much space there with Hall on her. Clark the crossover and the hit from three.